Welcome to the Gals Guide to the Galaxy podcast, where a group of gals gather for you one cool thing around our topic of the month. Is it ancient history? Is it breaking news? Is it safe for work? Well, that's up to each gal. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I'm Bonnie, and I'm joined by Leah, Katie, and Kira, talking about our one cool LGBTQ thing. Kara already talked about, what are we going to call it? The LGBT, the alphabet.
Alphabet soup.
Yeah.
There you go.
But before we dive back in, let's get to know something random about our gal pals. I want to know, with COVID-19 taking away some of the Pride celebrations, what do you think are some creative alternatives to celebrate Pride Month?
The first that I had was buy art from LGBTQ artists.
Nice.
Because it supports them financially. I know, like, Kira, you do a lot at Pride parades and sell things. Sometimes that's like a main moneymaker is Pride Month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only to be in the community and for celebrations, but also financial. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think it would be a great idea of this month of, you know, put your money in your allyship and buy stuff from your LGBTQ brothers and sisters. That's
Absolutely.
what I would go
Great.
for. Yeah.
Love that idea.
I know that Indie Pride is doing a lot of Zoom calls and
That's what I was going to hope
situations.
for.
Yeah.
As a homebody.
Yeah.
Come to my
too.
computer.
Katie and I don't really like large crowds as it is, so we like this idea.
Well, that's why I love having a booth and being separate when I
right?
do
You're
Pride
there.
festivals. Because I'm there, but I'm not in the crowd.
Right, exactly.
But my thing is going to be I'm going to dye my hair. This time I'll be doing it myself instead of going to a colorist.
There you go.
But I will be doing, I still have a little bit left from last year, my my rainbow. So I'll be doing rainbow in my hair.
Yay!
I feel like it's not much, but it's something.
If it matters to you, if it means something to you,
Mhm.
and that is your representation, that is your confident spirit, then that's what you do.
And I figure if I go out and see people,
Right.
anybody who recognizes it,
Yeah.
because it's a 6-color rainbow,
Yeah.
can go, oh, yeah,
Exactly.
and smile a little bit and
I
know they're
feel
not alone.
seen, I feel appreciated. I feel, yes, included. Yeah. dig it.
Absolutely. You both had perfect answers.
Everything
It's not a competition.
Everything I could ever want, you both said. We need to support each other's art.
Dye our hair.
Dye our hair.
Yes.
Yeah. I recently tried. You can't tell. Things on Zoom. And I think for me personally, I'm not always big on using social media, but I want to make more of an effort to share articles that are about Pride Month, share events, help post it out there in the world. I'm going to be talking about my one cool thing, and my lady that I'm going to talk about talks about how much of our social media presence kind of feeds our thoughts and what we think and what we know and what we
put
feel,
out into
and
the
then what
world,
we put
get
out
back.
to everybody else.
Yeah.
So my goal for next month, for June,
Yes.
is to share Pride events, Pride fundraisers, whatever I can come across.
Yeah, there you go.
Try.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like
you
it.
guys have to like every single thing. No.
Totally. Done. I'm on it.
Okay.
Bonnie, what
Oh,
about
goodness.
you?
Well, mine seems so superficial. But now, like, with everyone being at home, I've seen so many people, like, decorating the sidewalk and their
Yes.
windows. So I think it would just be so amazing if,
Yes.
like, everyone went out and just the sidewalks were covered and the windows, and it would just be a rainbow wonderland
That's a
everywhere.
great
Awesome.
idea.
It would be great.
My kid's bus stop has a rainbow flag, and it always just really, really warmed my heart because, I mean, the bus stop is just somebody's house on the block, but that particular house that the kids all stand at has a pride flag. And I love that. And I think it really does matter to the kids and to the community.
Yeah.
So I love driving by and every time and seeing the pride flag. I think that we need to get one. We have a United States flag, and we have a Tibetan flag, and then we have one of the Azores because Josh is Portuguese. He bought an Azores flag.
Get another flag up there.
I know, but everybody thinks we're communists when we have that flag up. They're like, "What's that flag?" And I'm like, "It's the Azores. He got it online."
I have to brag on Bonnie that she's already started Pride Month with some remarkably delicious rainbow jello.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
beautiful,
true.
guys.
We are chomping on rainbow
And
jello.
it's delicious.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
And do you have rainbow nails?
I do have rainbow
Oh,
nails.
look at that. Good.
That's
catch.
awesome.
See, Bonnie is color coordinated for a podcast. She's like, we're not doing Zoom? Shit.
Well, if we were just Zoom, I might have like gone like crazy rainbow eyeshadow or something.
Oh,
You know, to tag on to the rainbow idea too, I did an at-home scavenger hunt called Gish.
gotcha.
Mm.
Oh,
Gish,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because you were asking me if I knew what it was. And I'm like, I have no freaking clue.
And one of the scavenger hunt activities was to write a support note and post it in the window of support for LGBTQ individuals.
See?
So you could do your rainbow and maybe like some
That's really good.
inspirational words to post in your window.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Cool.
I think it's a
Pretty
great
awesome.
idea. These are all great ideas. We
Yeah.
should do all of them.
Sounds like a lot of work.
I
No,
know.
I gotta be a good ally.
We've got a
I'm
whole
so
month.
bad.
We have a whole month. Maybe
you guys
one
have
per
so much
week.
energy, and then I hear the things, and I'm like,
You're like, bye.
I'll
Do one color
do
at a
some
time.
chalk, and
Exactly.
no, I'm gonna post on social media.
There you go. And we'll post on social media, hey, Katie, have you done this other thing yet?
I need that.
It'll be good. We can do
But
that.
you did the scavenger hunt, right?
I did. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
See? There you go.
I was forced by a friend. That's how things happen to me. But
Note to self.
actually, they're
You
doing
know-
another mini scavenger hunt this Saturday, and I signed me and Jonah up.
Ooh, fun. I dig it.
So we'll see what cool things we can do. I love that it includes a lot of random acts of kindness.
Yay!
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Those are my
Cool.
favorite things. The pay it forward and the random acts of kindness.
Yes.
But Bonnie,
So, yeah.
what is your one cool thing this month?
My cool thing
Yes.
is Hannah Gadsby,
Yeah.
who identifies as tired.
Tired.
No.
Oh, beautiful.
She,
Me too. Me too.
As far as I know, it's her pronouns, and she identifies as a lesbian woman. But
There you go.
and in her
Awesome.
stand-up, she identifies as tired.
And she has a brand new special that
Yes.
came out like yesterday or the day
Like
before, or
like
something?
on the 26th or something.
I will say that I have not
Yep.
watched the new one yet.
I watched it this afternoon, and I'm gonna rewatch it either like tonight or this weekend.
I should probably watch
I
it
was
tonight.
watching it. I made Trey watch it with me again to refresh the other night, and I never tell anyone. I'm
That
like,
it's coming.
you need to watch it,
You
and
just-
it's
yeah.
amazing. And I'm just like, it's amazing. You need to watch it.
Have you ladies seen the Hannah Gadsby?
You need to watch it.
You need
it's
to watch it.
amazing.
Okay.
It's really good. It's not what you think it is, and then it's what you
great.
think it is, and then it's amazing.
it's
yeah, it's
so good.
There's a
When
twist.
it came out,
Yeah.
I watched it like over like a 4 or 5 day period. Like I watched it every day. I
Yeah.
was like, this is so amazing.
It's really
It's so good.
masterful piece of it's stand-up comedy,
What?
but then it isn't.
And what's it on?
Netflix.
Netflix.
It's
Yes.
called Nanette is the first one, and then the one that just came out the other day is Douglas.
Oh, it's called. I didn't even know what it was called. I just
Oh,
saw there was a
Douglas.
new one, and I
It's
went.
named after her doggy
Oh,
and another thing that she talks about.
that you can't say yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not ruining it.
That's part of a twist.
Well, it's named after her dog Douglas, but Douglas the dog is named after another thing.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. And so the twists are very good in her
Okay.
in her
She's
stand-up.
so
I have
good.
it written down.
Yes, there you
Nice.
go.
It's going home.
It's 100% worth it.
She was born January 12th, 1978,
Gotcha.
in Tasmania, Australia, where it was illegal to be gay until 1997.
1997.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Australia.
Oh.
Well, I don't think it was so much like Australia. I think
Yeah,
Tasmania, I guess, is she describes it as the Bible Belt of Australia.
Right.
And she was 19 at the time when it became legal.
Oh,
I guess when they dropped it.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, that had to be a really cool summer.
Yeah. and she talks about all this stuff in her stand-up. There's not like a whole lot on her. I mean, she talks about her life so much on her stand-up, and I don't want to like ruin the stand-up for everyone. You just need to watch it.
Right.
And then we can all talk about, like, we can have a Zoom meeting and talk about
Yes.
how awesome
It's an experience.
this woman
It is.
is. But yeah, she didn't start comedy until 2006, like on a whim. She had never been to a stand-up show, and she was just like out with friends or something, and they were like, yeah, it was like an open mic. They're like, yeah, go up there, and she fell in love with it, I guess. So that's only 13 years ago.
She's a natural, though.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She's been in all kinds of I don't want to say movies. I think they're like bits on TV series in like Australia.
Cameo sort of things.
Cameo, and some of them I think
Guest
she's
spots.
written some and like starred in some. There was like a mini series kind of a thing.
Oh.
But yeah, she hit it big, I guess, with Nanette in 2018, and then she just had Douglas came out. My favorite part about at the beginning of Douglas, she lays out like the index or like the syllabus of like, this is what I'm going to do to you.
Oh.
Like she's like, we're gonna do this, and this, and it's amazing. So now that I've known the thing and I've watched the thing, now I feel like I need to make a list,
right, and
double check because I know definitely a few. I'm like, oh man. So I'm watching. I'm like, which part is this?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, there's those two stand-ups. If you have access to, I think those other things were just in Australia. So if you have access to look at those like miniseries and stuff,
Gotcha.
I haven't found any.
You haven't found them on the US tubes?
Yeah, I haven't found any yet.
Gotcha.
There is the other day NPR Fresh Air with one of my other favorite people, Terry Gross, did an interview with her, and I was listening to that on the way up here.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. But no, she was homeless for a bit. In her new bit Douglas, she talks about how she was diagnosed with autism at 36.
Really?
36. Like she just,
wow.
I guess, like it. As soon as someone like diagnosed her with it, like it clicked. And
Yeah.
now she's like she
that's
can.
why.
She's like, yeah, that makes sense. I guess she talks about she just never thought that other people saw the world differently than her, and she just could not.
If you're so
understand
much in it, you can't forest from the trees scenario. So
I know this isn't quite as big, but that's how I felt about learning that I had anxiety.
Yeah,
because I never thought anything was dysfunctional or bad about my thinking, because I assume we all like worried about this stuff and changed our plans to avoid these potential bad things that could happen. And then I was describing it to a friend that was a little more knowledgeable, and they were like, no, you might need to talk to somebody.
Right, exactly.
Probably get some medication. I was like, good idea. Good idea.
Exactly. And I try to do that, like, actually with my girls, too, because I'm, like, going, I'm sorry, genetically, you have some shit. Because anxiety, depression, manic depression, like, it's all in your DNA soup. I'm very sorry. I am watching you.
I like that DNA soup.
It is, because we don't know what's really going to happen, but the odds are not in their favor. And so it's like, and it'll manifest itself differently in different situations. So I just go with, well, I am identifying a little anxiety right now. How you feeling? Is this a meditation? Is this a timeout scenario? Is this a medication and therapist scenario? Like, we're always like checking in with each other.
We at?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's like, I'll get back to you. I'm like, all right, that means we got a few days.
Did she make any changes in her life after her diagnosis, or did it just help her to be able to identify that?
It seemed like she just, kind of just the understanding of knowing what is going on.
This is what it is. Right. Yeah.
Well, not make changes, not like she'd need to change, but like, did her view of herself change, or was it just more like, it sounds like it was a view of the world, because she had to realize not everybody was processing.
Yeah.
Perhaps like she was.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, there's a few quotes from her first stand-up that I don't think it'll give away anything, but I love them, and I've been trying to do like art quotes, and I can't. I'm like, well, they gotta be blue. When I'm like, I don't know how to make these like a thing. Like with the
It'll come
RPG, I
to you.
incorporate her collars. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this.
When it sparks to you, it'll be brilliant. I know it will. So I'm willing to
It's
wait.
gonna be in the shower.
I know.
Right?
It's usually
Exactly.
in the
That's where
middle
all
of the
ideas
night.
come.
I'll wake up either in the middle of the night or like right before I need to wake up, and then I'm like, well, I can't go back to sleep because I'll forget the thing.
That's why notes on the phone
Like,
is a thing. Just put a note in the phone.
No, then I'm just like, never
Then
mind.
you're up.
I'm up. I'm up. I'm up.
Gonna need to work on that shower thinking, Bonnie. Nobody needs to get up early for ideas.
I know, right?
That's what showers are for.
Oh goodness. So a few of the quotes I love from her first stand-up is, "My story has value."
Yes.
Like, it's such a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, "To be rendered powerless does not destroy your humanity. Your resilience is your humanity."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, "There is nothing stronger than a woman who has rebuilt herself."
Yeah, that's the one that
So
I just went,
So
I was just crying.
So good.
You don't think you're going to cry during a stand-up, but you cry during the stand-up. It gets real.
It's so good.
Yeah. She basically like, oh, ha, 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 and then tears you apart and then puts you back together again. You're like, thank you.
And she tells you what she's doing.
Yes, exactly. She's like, I'm going to destroy you.
You guys were like drawing me in,
Sorry.
and now it's starting to sound threatening.
No, it's so good.
You
It's
need
so
that
good.
little bit of, I don't know. You need a little bit of that going into it, because then you're with her. It's so weird to explain.
It's
an experience.
It's so good.
Yes, it's very, very good.
Yeah, I had
Believe you.
I had my boyfriend watch it with me, who is a straight white male, and I guess he was like, I was squeezing his hand a little bit.
Gotcha.
I was like I was worried for him watching it,
Right.
but I was also like, I'm not gonna tell you, and I'm just gonna make you watch this.
You're also like, I need you to like this.
I was gonna say,
So
were
good.
you
He
watching
liked
his reactions to it?
No, I
No.
was watching it, but he was
You're-
like, I was holding his hand, and he was like, what are you doing to me? Like, I wasn't aware I was squeezing.
See,
No,
I
it's
was
so good.
watching it, and my oldest, Cammie, popped in,
Mm.
and she started watching it, and then she's like, I can't go. Like,
Aw.
she was just gonna come in for a
Yeah.
little bit and be like, hey, how you doing? And then like go up to bed, and she's like, oh, I'm in this now. And she
Wow.
stayed through the whole thing, and she's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she really, really loves it too, and did not expect.
So good.
I'm staying up tonight to watch
I know.
it.
I think it's totally worth it. It's totally.
It's a good point. I don't have too many days of not having work.
Yeah. Right.
I'd say the ability to sleep in, but my child gets up at 5 a.m.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that has not been a thing.
This is why you just be like, no, I was watching Hannah and Nanette, and he'll be
mean,
like, yeah, no, I understand.
There are times. maybe one time every 2 weeks I fall back asleep on the couch.
There you go.
But I did that the other day, and he was like, Mom, why are you always sleeping?
Always
on the
sleeping.
couch.
Always.
You're like, I have done
Anyway.
this twice this
Right.
year so far.
This is one of the things that I like about having teenagers.
Yeah.
Mm, see,
You know, it's like, oh, almost dinner time. Should I get Nick up?
Exactly.
I am ready for those.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
when it's like the sun just came up and you've already done like a load of dishes, made everybody breakfast, packed for
Right.
lunch, and you
Yeah.
shouldn't do that many things that early in the morning. Anyway,
This is
but
true.
it sounds like it's worth staying up late for.
It really is.
good.
Yeah.
Yes, it is fantastic.
Has she ever toured in the United States?
She did the
Yeah.
Nanette tour. Like the video, it looks like it's in the Sydney Opera House for Nanette, but she, the routine she practiced going around, and she did the same thing with Douglas. And with the Terry Gross interview, she talked about having both like hecklers, like normal hecklers,
Yeah.
of like people who just cannot stand the tension, and she loses it because she understands now with the autism, like she cannot deal with like the interruption and she's got a
Gotta
schedule
flow.
and she's got a thing going, and when there's an interruption, and then she even talked about like when there's like an unexpected applause or applause that should be louder, and it's like that's
Mhm.
like the same thing, like even though it's a positive reaction, she's like, you're throwing me off.
Right.
See, yeah, exactly. But now being able to identify what that is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's helpful.
I had a thought. Where did it
Yeah.
go? Oh, I was gonna ask. Not that it matters to me, but does she swear a lot during her show? Because I feel like Australian comedians, like,
Oh, I can't
they
remember.
have certain
She
words. They're very
does.
affectionate.
Yeah.
She does. So
For
it's
that
not
us
for
in the
children.
United States are like, oh no,
Yeah, it's not for
you
children.
can't say that.
Right.
I would advise parents to watch it first
I mean, I
and
love
then watch it
swearing,
with their children.
so-
It's no Jim
I'm all
Jeffries.
for
Let
it.
me put it that
Okay,
way.
there. That is what
I know,
popped
that's
into my
not-
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lower stakes on the
Mhm.
language scale than Jim Jeffries, who's another brilliant
Yeah, there's
Australian.
not like a whole
comedian.
lot of cursing, but there is cursing and
adult
in the
themes.
in the first one more than the second one. Yeah, more adult themes.
Okay.
That's all I got.
There you go. She's
so
still
go watch them, both
Exactly.
of them,
Right.
now.
She's still building her legacy. She's going to be
Yes.
around for a great long time. Have you seen anything about books? Is she
No.
working on any? I know she doesn't have any,
seen
but
anything.
I would love it if she would write though. They would be fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. And we would have them at the library.
Yes. She did say, she it was a art history major. She had her degree
Yes.
in art history, so there's a bit of art history in both of her stand-ups, which I love.
Yes.
Because I had art history,
Speaking your
and I am
language.
just like, yes! Especially with freaking Picasso, because I feel the same way with Gauguin, and I'm
Same.
like, ah! Like, I cannot do it! Dude is an ass.
Right?
Hate
Exactly.
that guy.
And I like that you both expose them for what they are. They know what they did.
Yes.
Now rub
Yeah,
their faces in it.
there's a bit of that in the
Exactly.
second one, and it's in a different way. But yeah, she talks about like with the interview with Terry Gross that she just felt like with reading and like with social cues, like it takes her a while to catch on, and with reading, like she feels like she's got to be like really thorough. Like she catches up eventually, but it takes her a while. She talked about with like images, with art history,
Mhm.
it was easier for her to pick up on like the nuances of things and stuff. So I'm like, so it's beyond just like being like a visual learner than a
Yeah.
read. So I'm not sure she would write a book or not.
Right.
So we'll see.
But if she did, it would
She
be
did.
fantastic.
There better be pictures. Like that would be
Right.
great.
Mhm. I love it.
Yes.
Brilliant. Yay. Do you ladies have any final questions? Sweet. Well, on that burp, if you want to wrap us up.
Satisfaction.
Well, that wraps it up for this week. Join us next week as our next gal pal shares her one cool LGBTQ thing as Gal's Guide to the Galaxy podcast continues. Thanks for listening.
For show notes, links, and images from this week's show, visit galsguide.org. Want exclusive stuff like deleted bits and major bloopers? Become a Gals Guide patron today. Thanks for listening.